football. We have a lot of football finals to get through. We're going to start in Cork. The Cork Senior Football Championship final of 2023 was won by Castlehaven. Myself and yourself did call this one right. We said Castlehaven will win it, even though Nemo have all the experience. However, it did look like Nemo Rangers might be about to get over the line in the 57th minute when Barry Cripps finished off a point to make it 9 points to 8, but 3 points in a row. From surprise, the Hurley brothers for Castlehaven, Michael and Brian, saw Castlehaven get over the line. The Hurley brothers provided 10 of the 11 points that Castlehaven scored. Michael Hurley got all of his 5 from play and was man of the match. And Castlehaven, in my opinion, deserving Cork champions for 2023.
Yeah, look, and but you talk about only like 4 scores as well. This is again thing. Only 3 scores for Castlehaven. Probably not the prettiest game of all time, but look, job done. Finals there to be won, and I think based off what we've seen in the Cork Championship, we talked about in the previous show, was that I thought that they were kind of blitzing teams lately. They were really coming through strongly as well, and I think based on the overall of the entire championship, they deserving of their title as well. I think they've more in them as well. You talk about some of the players that could have contributed a little bit more into it as well. On another day as well, you expect more scores. Jack Cahalane coming forward, Damien Cahalane, Conor Cahalane, Mark Collins in there as well. Really, really strong side. And you know what? I think it will help the Cork Championship. I think that Castlehaven coming through, I do think it gives them a good enough chance at competing for a Munster anyway as well. I think them and Clonmel will definitely be 2 teams to watch there as well. I think it'll be Dingle representing Kerry, but I'd be jumping straight away. I'd be saying Castlehaven and Clonmel might be 2 teams that I think would I'd be leaning towards as well. And just before to move on, I know it was this kind of quote was getting a little bit of attention at the Nemo manager, saying that he wasn't too impressed kind of with the style of play in the game, but unfortunately he was saying it's the only way you can win. So I know that sparked a lot of debate, that a lot of people were talking about the final being quite cagey and not great on the eye. And there was a little bit of this feeling across the entire weekend where the finals in the football did seem to be a little bit win at all costs. And it didn't lend probably to the greatest spectacle ever, but Castlehaven won't mind about that.
Well, that is the truth. And look, that's a different debate in itself. It's like our game is teed up, like, let's be honest, sometimes set up in ways that isn't pretty, and set like it genuinely is. Because like be honest with yourself, Luke, like if me and you were somehow the Cluiche team was drafted in to manage a Division 4 team and we were playing against a Division 2 team or something, like, I'm being honest, what's the first plan I'd do? Park everyone behind the ball. Let's get physically fit and let's just hold on to the ball. Let's be nasty to play against and try and drag it into a battle here. And the game allows for that. And my point is that when you look at other sports, how, for example, basketball had one infamous game which led to the shot clock being introduced because it was the worst game of basketball anybody had ever seen. So they introduced the shot clock, and you're thinking, is there something that the GAA can do to limit this? Like, there's a limit on the amount of hand passes you can do in a row, or there's a limit on once you cross the halfway line, you can't go back. Or things like that mean that you have to attack more often. That would make the game easier on the eye.
Yeah, and look, I think that's the thing, is that it's kind of, because you can't blame management, is because the game is set up for defenders more than attackers at the moment, I think is the problem. And that, I think the rules encourage defensive play more than attacking play. And look, I've seen that the consecutive hand passes in a row might be a potential thing to try. Other people are saying reduce it down to 13 aside or something like that, just something where.
Which one would you go?
Or something where certain amount of players have to be inside the 45, that you have to keep 3 players up, or it has to be at least a certain players in a certain amount of half. There has to be something kind of tried, I think, here a little bit, because it is becoming quite difficult to watch, particularly if the club championship is going to be played at this time of the year. We're getting nearly into November now, when the pitches are going to be they're going to be tough to play on. the weather's not been good at all lately as well. Like with all these things as well, if you're a management team as well and you're saying we're going to be playing in probably a bit of a bog, the weather's going to be absolutely shite as well. How are you going to be able to say, let's go out and play fancy football here, let's go out and kick passes all over the place as well? You'd be mad. The ball would just be getting stuck in the turf and you wouldn't be able to string any passes together. So like there has to be some sort of thing looked at here as well, because otherwise we are going to keep seeing these games. Well, I know we're talking Cork here at the moment, but we're going to get onto the Mayo game, the 6-4 in a minute as well, which made the Cork final look an absolute cracker in comparison. So just look, they're probably, we'll see if there's what the powers that be come up with, because I do think we are going that way though at the moment.
Yeah, no, I think for me personally, like I think it's a separate video in itself, maybe something to come on Cluiche, but to talk about how can you make the game better to watch, like the genuine truth, because the basketball example is a really good one. Something about, I don't know, just definitely the hand passes is the one to target. The hand passes is the one to target. Like as Pat Spillane said, look, sometimes I don't agree with what he says, but a lot of the times I do. There's no skill involved in the hand pass. There's no skill involved. And the art of kicking has very much taken a back seat. And when you look at the stats, like kicking has gone down, like in the game, the amount of kick passes has gone down. And like there was interesting styles and everything like that, but it's just more on the club level. And at inter-county level, I don't think defensive systems is too much of an issue. But at the club level, it definitely is. And we'll move on to the Mayo final. We will. Like that game. And the Mayo Championship is behind the paywall as well. So imagine if you paid to watch that game and you only got to see, I have it here, the exact number. You only got to see 3 points from play in the entire game. Like that's just tragic. And I'm not like, I don't care about the conditions, because like you look over at the other side, there was more scores in the London football final. There was more scores in the Derry football final, more in Tyrone, more in Waterford, more in every other championship on the same weekend. So you can't point the finger and say, oh, conditions. Did the conditions make it hard? Yes, but Brafey set out to defend. Yeah. And we will talk about that in a couple of minutes. But like there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way to make the game more enjoyable. And look, we have the whole winter to think about this and start introducing it. Introduce it for the college competitions. Introduce it for the Allianz League. And see how the scores go. And if the scores don't go up, well, then it didn't work. But we can't have, again, more defensive systems and everything like that, because people want to be entertained at the end of the day. People want to be entertained. And one rule that I really liked that Kieran Whelan suggested was there was something similar to the basketball rule. Do you know how in basketball in the last couple of minutes, if you foul, it's an immediate 2 shots? Mm-hmm. Like something like that in the GAA would be pretty good. Like if the referee deems that you cynically fouled someone on the opposing penalty area, well then he moves it all the way up to the 13-yard line right in front of your goal and gives a free in. So like something that makes it like, so say if a team was holding on to a 1-point lead, they cannot foul. They cannot foul under any circumstances, because then they have conceded the equalizer. Things like that. And I think, look, it's something to think about in the cold season. But for Castlehaven on this side, I do agree with what Matthew said. I think Castlehaven will be a better representative for Cork going into the championship. I do think they have more attacking flair. I think they have more exciting players to watch. The Hurley brothers are a magnificent pairing that they have up there. And I think that you can build pretty much any club team around them. Dingle, I think I would lean to as being favourites for the province. But Castlehaven and Clonmel, I think, could catch them if they're not on their A game, especially after the beating that they took at the hands of Mid-Kerry.